Good morning, kids. It's that time. Here we are. What day is it? Oh my God, I don't even know what day it is. It's Friday. Freaky Friday. Yay. It's Friday, January 26th. I also don't need to do the disclaimer because it's in the description of the show. So we're also going to start our Facebook page here. Yay, the B Cup. So today we're going to talk about, hi kids. I'm doing YouTube at the same time, as you know, but I'll put the disclaimer on YouTube, but didn't put it here. So first off, I'll do that. I don't represent any community. I don't represent the transgender community. I don't represent the queer or the LGBT community. I represent me and my voice and my truth. So let's go. Let's have opinions. Let's talk. Let's argue. Let's discuss. Let's get through this and let's create a community again, because our community doesn't exist anymore. It's separate. We're separate from each other. We don't respect each other. We don't talk to each other like normal human beings. We have become a very immature group of people. Well, I don't necessarily know if it's us or just other people who are immature. I don't consider myself immature, but maybe it's other people being immature that's causing us all to be immature. Maybe that's what's happening. I'm not really sure. But anyway, good morning, Tori. It's nice to see you always. And Jen and Elizabeth. Good morning, my friend. And good morning, Rogelio. Nice to see you. I don't teach. We all teach. That's the cool thing, is I show up for class and we all show up for class. So that's what I love about the B Cup, is we are here together. It's not my show. It's our show. I can send you the address where to send t-shirts. Just email me. I don't like to publish it out there. So it's my warehouse, but I'll send you the address if you just email me. But thank you so much. Good morning, Sylvia. Nice to see you. And Jacko, nice to see you. And everyone have their coffee, because we're going to talk about something that can set people off, or what we like to call, or what they like to call, trigger. It's that time again. Yes, it is. Keaton, nice to see you. And for today's trampoline lesson, they said, very funny. It's true. I don't know if it's a lesson or it's let's create dialogue. And it doesn't seem like a lot of people want to create dialogue, and I do. I love having, good morning, Francisco. It's nice to see you, my friend. And Dane and Tori. And so it's not so much that. Good afternoon to you, Care. Yes, I'm topless because I put the heater on. And also, I'm just being a little bit of a show off, because I think we should all show our bodies off. And if I could, I would put all of our cameras together, and I would encourage you to take your your top off too. So if you're sitting in your top right now, I encourage all of you to take off your shirt. I mean, maybe you can't if you're at the office with a bunch of other people. But if you're in a private space right now, take your shirt off. Take your shirt off and take off your bra, take off whatever, your binder, take off everything and let yourself be free right now while we talk. That should always be the rule of the B Cup. You have to be naked or at least topless. You have to enjoy your body, because I'm all about our bodies. I'm all about exploring our bodies. I'm all about loving our bodies. I'm all about showing our bodies off. I get naked every chance I get. Every chance I get. And that's part of my activism. It really is. Just getting naked. And I think that it's important for you as a person to reclaim your body by just being naked. I mean, I walk around my house naked. I get naked all the time, because honestly, it feels very empowering to be naked in the body that I once hated. So really think about that. Wow, Francisco has his bottoms off. That's actually even better. I don't have my bottoms off. I have my pajama bottoms on. I literally jump out of bed and get on the B Cup. It's hilarious. Hi, Gino. It's nice to see you. So let's talk about reclaiming, right? Because so it's a very hard discussion. People get very pissed off for some reason. They don't want to have a discussion about what I'm going to talk about right now. And I don't really understand why people get upset about this conversation. I mean, actually, I do think I know why. So you tell me. So I'm going to say it, and then we're all going to have a discussion. Good morning, Nate. It's nice to see you. Get your top off, Nate. If you're in a private place where you can be naked, I'm encouraging everybody this morning to have naked coffee with me. And I still have my pajama bottoms on, but let's take our tops off and enjoy our bodies together. Because it's so, see, Greg, how do I pronounce your name? I'm having a hard time, Greg. I'm just going to say Greg. If that's rude, I very much apologize. So, good morning, Casey. Take off your top. Take off. What's wrong with Nate? I didn't see that. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? So, good morning, Mandy. This is what I want to talk about today. Good morning, Freebird. It's nice to see you. Everyone supports my vagina. Thank you very much, Keaton. I appreciate that. So, here we go. Asher, nice to see you. Greg is fine. Thank you, my friend. It's a beautiful name, though. I love your name. Yeah, if you're not at home, you can't get naked. But if you're at home in your private space, I encourage you to take your top off like me. So, here we go. Yes, Freebird, being naked under the covers counts. So yesterday I made a discussion on my Instagram because Instagram does we get great discussions going. If you're not following me on Instagram, I highly recommend, if you want to have good conversation and good dialogue, join my Instagram feed. It's just Buck Angel on Instagram. Join it because really I post these questions on there and I get a lot of great feedback. My Instagram page is way stronger than my Facebook page. Oops, am I going to get kicked off of Facebook now? But they're the same company now. Seriously, I get great dialogue, and I would love for you guys and women and people and whoever you are to join in. So join in on the Instagram feed because it's great. So here's the question that I posed yesterday that gets people's panties in a wad. Ooh, and I love that. So, why can we reclaim the word queer, which has a horrible past, of total destruction, totally killing gay people, totally horrific, horrible past. Queer has a horrible past. Tranny has a horrible past too. So my question is, how can we just reclaim queer and celebrate it like queer, but the minute you say tranny, they want to blow your head off as if you said the worst word in the world. Yet they're running around celebrating queer with no understanding of the history of the word queer. And when I pose that question constantly, crickets. Nobody can answer it. Yet they sit there and they demand the use of the word queer. They won't answer anything about the tranny. Go read my Instagram. The ones who are like, I'm queer, it's my identity, I'm keeping it no matter what. But they forgot to answer the rest part of the question, which was, but that's fine that you reclaim queer, but why are you having a hard time letting us reclaim tranny? Why? It's mostly this younger crowd of people, as well as many biological cisgender people reclaiming or using queer too, which is fine. I don't care who uses it, and I don't give a shit how you identify, if that's what you feel like. But do not shit on other people who want to reclaim words too. You can't do that. That's called hypocrisy. That's being a hypocrite. Look the word up. Can one of you people please out there look at the definition of hypocrisy and post it for me right here? I would appreciate that very much. So, do you understand my question? Denise says you are so right. Diana says, well, PM you later, Nate. Okay. So JT says reclaim all. Yes. No one can use it against that. I'm a proud tranny. But, as well as I am too. But here's the question, JT, and all of you. Listen to me again. Why are we able to reclaim queer and it's celebrated at the masses with a completely horrible, disgusting history that many gay men still despise and don't like to hear, yet tranny is considered the dirtiest word on earth now, and we are not allowed to reclaim it because some people get offended by it. But I'm offended by queer. I'm offended by the word queer, that it's just loosely thrown out, that it's loosely given, yet nobody discusses the backstory of queer. They just celebrate it like it's a party. That's not okay, and that's hypocrisy. Ellen says, the practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one owns behavior does not conform. Yes, exactly. Here's another one. Katrina, thank you guys for posting that. I appreciate it. The practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one owns behavior does not conform. Period. Dane says, yeah, thank you. Words are words. It's the power you give them. That's not my question. My question is, so Greg says, I'll call you whatever you want to be called. But my question, we need to get back to the question. Can anybody answer this question? Because you can't. You can't. It's not possible. Why is it okay to reclaim queer, but it is not okay to reclaim tranny? Can any of you answer that question for me? Because I need to know. Nobody's answering it. They're just saying things like, queer is my identity, it's mine. And of course, it's a younger generation. And somebody said to me, Chase Ross calls himself queer, so I'm queer. What? If Chase Ross said he was an elephant, are you an elephant? That makes zero sense. But that's the immaturity level that we are dealing with. Complete and total immaturity. No dialogue, no stepping back and listening to my question. Listening to my question, and they don't want to listen. They just want to be like, queer is my identity. That's how it is. That's not an answer. That's not an answer. Answer my question. Not one of the queers, young queers, can answer my question. Because it isn't, there's no answer. Because the bourgeois art culture decided to monetize it. There's that too. Trans Inc. Keaton says, hypocrisy is when you're calling everybody out on the carpet, yet they want to do the same thing and cry foul. Freebird, just use the word tranny if you want, as long as you're using it in a respectful way. I don't need permission. I don't need permission to use tranny. I use it all the fucking time. I don't need permission by anybody. That's not my question. My question is why? Why? Tori says, I grew up where queer and tranny were words you never say to other people because they are derogatory and my mother would slap my face. I have issues with both words. However, if you fall in that demographic and use the word, that is fine by me. But my question, it's hard because you're not comprehending, because it doesn't make sense. And I get it. Daniela says, it seems like a power thing. Gatekeepers got there too late to police your use of the word queer. So they're demanding to do it to a different word just the sake of looking woke. You are fucking right on, Daniela. Good. That's an awesome answer. Kira says from Wikipedia, tranny. In 2014, the Tranny Awards changed its name, which I was very upset about, by the way. Very upset about. To the Transgender Erotic Awards, citing feedback from the extended adult, not true, as a reason to stop using the term. The only reason why they changed their name, because I'm very affiliated to the Trans Awards, is because some transgender people ripped them a new asshole. And I was like, so what? It's not their award show. If they want to make their own, go make their own. But don't be forced into changing your language because a bunch of children got butthurt over it, yet they reclaim a word that butt hurts me. There's no answer. You're never going to find the answer because there is no answer. It's control. It's 100% total control. Gabriella said we should reclaim all the words. Make haters don't have... I agree with you, Gabriella, but you can't you can, but they go nuts. The young trans kids go nuts when you decide to reclaim something that they haven't stamped their approval on, such as tranny. It's why I am encouraging you, even if you dislike the word, even if you don't call yourself a tranny, that we must use the word tranny. Why is it LGBTQ now? Why is it LG? Because queer means gay and lesbian. That's what queer really means. If you know the use of the word queer, you understand queer means gay. It does not mean anything else. Queer is gay. That's where the word queer came from. It was a word used to express about gay men. So what is queer? What is queer? Now these other people have taken on queer and renamed it and redone it? No, that's not what queer is. Queer is gay. Now all of a sudden queer is everybody? That's a little bit strange. So basically now you can just say you're queer and you're anything. That doesn't make any sense. What's happening? It is good to reclaim a hurtful word, 100%, but you can't change the meaning. You can't change. That's not what queer is. The original intent of the word queer is dealing with your sexuality, not your identity. There's a difference between gender and sexuality. There's a difference. So if you're saying that your identity is your sexual identity, then you're queer and it means you're gay. That's what I know. So tell me different. Can somebody please post the definition? I want to see what the Webster defines as queer. Andrea, beautiful name, Andrea. I love the way you spell it. Hi, Casey. Casey said queer is sometimes used for people who don't know. But that's not the true definition of queer. Unfortunately, a younger generation like mine is so sensitive, can't handle anything. This generation, it's more than that. It's more than that, Andrea. There's something weird happening because the sensitivity level is so set to high, but it's something else. What is it? Because I can't believe that there's that many in a generation that are so butthurt and so full of poo-poo diapers that they just can't fucking walk straight. I don't understand. What's happening and how are they getting this way? What is this oversensitivity and where is it coming from? Freebirds, so Keaton says, what's your take on the word transvestite? Great question, Keaton. Keaton asked me, what is my take on the word transvestite? It's a real word, and it's a real identity. I work with transvestites. Transvestite is basically a cross-dresser. Cross-dressing, transvestite isn't a derogatory word. It's an actual real thing. Look it up. Transvestite is somebody who basically cross-dresses, but a lot of times it has a feeling of sexuality attached to it. Where a transsexual person, it's just their identity. It has nothing to do with sexuality. Where a transvestite, a lot of times, are cross-dressers who deal with that, but also deal with their sexuality, and somehow it turns them on to cross-dress into the other opposite gender and play with their sexuality. That's what a transvestite is, and it's a real thing. It's not a derogatory statement. It's not rude. It's not disrespectful. People just need to know to understand there's a difference between transvestite, transsexual, transgender, crossdresser. There's all these different terminologies, and all of them are valid. All of them are valid terminology. So here we go. Tori says queer. Slang. Usually disparaging and offensive. Gay or lesbian. You see what I'm saying? That's the definition of queer. Queer is gay or lesbian. So if you are claiming queer, you are a gay or a lesbian person. It says it right there in the dictionary. Second, noting or relating to a sexual orientation or gender identity that falls outside the heterosexual mainstream or the gender binary. Oh, so now they're attaching gender to it. It has nothing to do with gender. It has everything to do with your sexuality. That is a lie, and that's them changing the terminology of the word. So, I guess that's my next question. Andrea says, thank you. I agree that there is more than that. At my high school, before we graduated, it almost seemed like they were dancing around certain things in speeches. Like they were afraid to say things in fear of offending people. At a fucking high school where you should be fucking learning and you should be able to have dialogue and you should be able to express your own opinion. Oh, but no, they're shutting that down. We've become a fascist country. We've become a fascist fucking community where there's people telling us how we can speak. Queer. Sexually attracted to members of the opposite sex. Relating to homosexuality. Gay. They don't even know what they're calling themselves. This is brilliant. They don't even know what they're calling themselves. They're all, so straight people, heterosexual, cisgender, straight people are calling themselves queer. They don't even get it. It means you're gay. So the next time some cool fucking dude who's straight comes up to you and says, yeah, dude, I'm queer. You're like, oh, okay, you're gay. Say it. Say it. I dare you. I'm saying it from now on. You just told me right there. That's what it means. It means you're gay. It doesn't mean you're queer and you're off. And no, it means you're gay. There's the dictionary. You can't change the meaning of a word, can you? Can you change the meaning of a word even though it's just solid? Solid, that's the solid definition. Can you actually change it? No, you have to create your own word. You have to create your own word. You can't take a word that is our word as gay people and all of a sudden change it to a whole new definition to fit your fucking needs and say, this is what queer is. No, it isn't. That's not what queer is. You're defining yourself wrong unless you're saying you're gay. That doesn't make any sense. Terms and meanings change over time. The problem is this, Leo. There is a big problem, Leo. I'll tell you this. Queer is from the gay community. Queer means gay. It says it right there. Yet tons of people are using the term to identify what? Not their sexuality, but their identity. It doesn't make any sense. There is also the idea that you can only use queer, but you can't use tranny. Doesn't make sense, Leo, does it? I use tranny, yet I'm not allowed to use tranny because it's a derogatory, mean word. So is queer. Queer is a horrible word. But why can you, Leo, why can you reclaim why can you reclaim queer and not tranny? Answer it. I would love for you to answer it. JT says these are the same kids who never told no. Yes, they never are told no. Asher says, I didn't meet a trans person until I was 20 out of living in a small town. 5 years later, I began my transition. I looked up to people like you who educate people like me about the history of the community. Thank you, my friend. And in no way am I telling you how to identify, and in no way do I care how you identify. I care about hypocrisy. I care about bullshit behavior that says you can do this or you can't do that. I'm 55. I came here out of nothing. You think you're going to tell me how to goddamn identify, and then you're going to tell me that the word queer doesn't mean gay? What? Look in the dictionary, and that's my word from my old community that we have used forever, and you can't take the word away and change the meaning. You can't do that, especially when people are still using it as an identity for their sexuality. It doesn't work. You can't do that. You can't change the definition of transsexual. You can't change the definition of lesbian. You can't. It doesn't work that way. Jennifer said, I was told gender is who you go to bed with and sex is who you go to bed with. It helped me to understand when my daughter first told me there's a difference between gender. Gender is how you feel, how you present, who you are. Gender. Sexuality is who you're attracted to, what excites you, what is your sexuality. Are you gay, straight, bi, queer? Queer means you're gay, by the way. Andrea says, we couldn't express anything at my high school. My AP English teacher had a debate when marriage equality got legalized, and I got kicked out of the class for saying something because what I said could have offended somebody. Andrea. Oh my God. Wow. So now you gotta make sure you're tiptoeing over identities or you might hurt somebody's fucking feelings. Are you kidding me? Nate says queer, 18th century use, peculiar, strange, odd, against the ordinary. I studied. Great, Nate, that's awesome. So, as the word progressed into the 50s, queer became the insulting word for gay men. Then it became a reclaiming of a word for our gay sexuality. And that's what the definition of queer has become. Gay sexuality. It has nothing to do with your gender. It has everything to do with your sexuality. Good morning, my friend Marlon. Nice to see you. Words do change over time, 100%. But at the same time, when they are not being used, queer is already being used in the gay community. We've been using it for years. I was part of Queer Nation. We have used it in our gay community. So for a whole other community to take that on and change the meaning, I don't know if that's okay. I'm not okay with that. Okay, Gregory is a link. So great, Gregory. I really want to have this discussion with you. Gregory says, as a linguist, I can tell you that definitions change over time due to popularity of use. And that's awesome. But are you allowed to change the word usage when it's already in use by a group of people? That's my question. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying the definition is. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying my queer community from ever has been using it as a definition. We've never stopped using it as a definition for our gayness. So how can you change a word a linguist needs to answer this for me. How can you change a word How can you change a word that's already in usage? Does that make sense? Can you answer that question? They are changing meanings. Bisexual has been changed to no longer mean attracted to both. No, that's not true. I'm bisexual. It's my identity. You can't change my identity. I'm attracted to men and women. I'm attracted to everybody. I'm bisexual. Language change is variation over time. And language, I'm sorry, I'm a horrible, horrible English student. So I understand that they change over time, Leo. But what is my question to you, Leo? Leo, to you. How can you reclaim queer and not tranny? That's my question. You can't. You have to, if you're reclaiming queer, Leo, you have to let the rest of us reclaim tranny, or else you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. If you say queer is okay and tranny isn't, you're a hypocrite. Done. That's the reality of it. So Linda says, hi, Buck Angel. It must be cold where you are. I see that you have a scarf on, but I don't have a shirt on. And I've encouraged you to take your shirt off if you're in a private space so we can talk to each other naked. Dade says, I wonder what it meant in another 100 years. Exactly. Good question. Word meanings change as they are being used. It's through the constant use that the language changes. But my question is, if the word is still being used within the gay community to represent gay people, how can a new group of people then remove that word and claim it as their own and rechange the meaning? Because that's not the meaning of the word. The meaning of the word queer means you're gay. So I don't understand now how you've taken the word to mean something else, but people are still using it to say that they're gay. And then how can you reclaim a word that is derogatory, mean, ugly, and not reclaim any other word? Faggot, dyke, whatever the fuck you want to say. Those are all derogatory words. I know tons of people that call themselves faggots and dykes. I know tons, millions of people that do it. But why queer and tranny are butted to each other? There's no answer. There's no answer. You can't. It's hypocrisy. It is. So, anyway, I'm getting bored of this conversation. Let's talk about something else because it's bullshit behavior. So, the neutral use of queer is now well established and widely used, especially as an adjective or modifier, and exists alongside the derogatory usage, queer. Yeah, because they changed the meaning. But my question is, how can you change the meaning of a word that's still in usage by a group of people who claim to be gay? That's what I'm talking about. I don't care. Go ahead. Do it. But I'm challenging this thought process that you are only allowed to reclaim whatever word somebody says is okay. I'm challenging. You can't. I'm challenging. If you're gonna reclaim queer, you have to reclaim tranny. And I say it every day. If I meet you and you say, hi, yes, I identify as queer, and I'm like, oh, great, hi, I identify as a tranny. I do it all the time. People get so weirded out. I'm like, oh, but actually queer is a very hurtful word and I don't actually like it. I actually despise that word queer and I find it insulting. But did you ask me my opinion before you said queer? No, you didn't. So that was a trigger for me. Queer was a trigger for me. How do you like that? How do you like that, my friend? Tranny is a trigger for you. Queer is a trigger for me. So how come no one's asking me, but wait a minute, Buck, you're sensitive to the use of the word queer. We're sorry about that. Nope, never. Never. Never has anyone ever apologized for using the word queer in front of me, even though I find it as a derogatory word. Stacy! Hi! We're talking about reclaiming queer and tranny and how it's hypocrisy to reclaim one but not the other. It's a real conversation that nobody wants to have because there's no clear answer. You can't reclaim one without reclaiming the other. So there it is. I know so many older gay men who fucking despise queer, who find it insulting, who actually lost their friends by the use of the word queer. I know people who have died being beat up, people's friends because they were called queer. It's real. Same with tranny. Youngsters have no clue of what the fucking history of the word queer is, and we need to teach them. They can call themselves queer. They can call themselves queer. They can call themselves whatever the fuck they want. But know your fucking history and don't cock-block people from using other words that they feel empowered by just because it triggers you. For now on, the word queer triggers me. I don't like it. I don't want to hear it. I find it disgusting. And when you call yourself queer, it triggers me. So I'm playing the same fucking game to show them the hypocrisy. If we don't show hypocrisy in reclaiming, and if we don't show the hypocrisy in a new group of students, children, immature, acting as if they're being so fucking smart, they will just keep getting away with what? Acting like immature little children with poo-poo diapers. It's not okay. What do you do when your child acts out? As a parent, that is why I'm not comfortable. It's queer as I have seen people die as well, and people calling others queer, it makes me ill. Right on. Exactly, Allison. Again, use the word, create the word for yourself, but understand the history of the word and that it's insulting to many older generation. And it's insulting that you have no idea what that word actually comes from. And it's insulting that you find this idea of reclaiming queer as this beautiful, awesome thing, yet you don't let people reclaim dyke, faggot, anything that they want to reclaim because you find it a trigger. Tell me part of that isn't hypocrisy or any type of selfish up my own ass behavior. So, here's my next question, because I love to pose questions to you smart kids out there. My next question is this. Oh, wait, I think I just forgot my question because I have too many questions in my head, and that's just ridiculous. I totally actually forgot my question. I was totally thinking, oh my God, I gotta go pack my suitcases because I'm leaving, and I just lost my whole train of thought. That's so trampall. What were we talking about? Queer, we were talking about faggot, we were talking about dyke, we were talking about reclaiming, we were talking about sexuality, we were talking about what were we talking about? Kids. That's what we were talking about, kids. So I'm posing this question to the parents in the group. To the parents in the group. Listen to me. Allison says, is there a reason why the Kiss Off isn't? Yeah, it is. It's totally available in Toronto. Go to, what's the name of that shop? My friend owns it. Come As You Are. Is it Come As You Are? They carry it. And if you want it, just buy it from me. I'll ship it to you. Go to buckangel.com and buy it. Thank you, Allison, for asking. So listen, to all the parents out there, listen to me. If you have a child and that child is throwing shit all over the house. Let's just say they're digging in their diapers and they're throwing shit everywhere. And they're just throwing it at you and they're throwing it all over the house. What do you do? What do you do? Diana, it's totally poo-poo diapers. They're poo-poo diapers. That's what I call them. They're poo-poo diapers. They're the poo-poo diaper generation. They're not a generation of intelligence. They're not a generation of maturity. They're a generation of poo-poo diapers because they're used to having their diapers changed for them. They're not being shown how to actually not wear the diapers. They're not being potty trained at all. They're just fucking adults wearing diapers because nobody showed them how to change their diapers. And they're used to being catered to and they're used to being handed everything to them. So they don't even know how to change their diapers when they poop in it. So I call them the poo-poo diaper generation because they're a bunch of immature little babies. I told you and I'll say it again. I see 12 and 13-year-olds all the time. They're the most mature bunch of people I have ever seen. They don't get into this bullshit behavior. Because why? They're being told and treated and respected as what they want to be. And they have the respect for me because they understand with all of us together, we grow. 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds are much more mature than these 20-year-old millennial poo-poo diaper kids. It's ridiculous. So here we go. Good morning, Cole. Nice to see you. Denise says, a beautiful trans woman has a babysitter, and she would always say, come to Mama Tranny. That's so beautiful, Denise. Thank you. Okay, Pete, yes, poo-poo diapers. So, Rachel, this is the next thing we're talking about. This is the next thing we're talking about. So, I find this generation as so immature and so ridiculous and no one's challenging them that I'm just sick and tired of it. And we need to challenge this group of kids because they're getting no challenge. That's why they're running wild. So my question is this. If you are a parent or you want to be a parent, or you understand parenting, this is my question. If your child is running around the house, digging in their diapers and throwing shit against the wall, throwing shit at you, throwing shit everywhere, what do you do as a parent? What do you do as a parent? I'm going to drink my coffee and wait for some good answers on this question. I want to know what you do. I know what I do as a daddy. I'll tell you right now. But I want you to answer me first. If nobody is giving any discipline. Rochelle, I'm so sorry, but that's triggering. I'm so sorry that poo-poo is triggering you. I'm so sorry. But I have to use it. It's just part of the analogy of everything, and I have to show you because poo-poo works great for me. Pete says, I'm working with a 22-year-old intern right now, and she is helpless. I have to tell her how to be at work, like basics, like look, oh, wow, that's fascinating, Pete. Jennifer says spanking and a timeout or grounding. Jennifer, that's exactly what I would do. Leo says, born in 86 in Middle Europe, not wanting to bring up kids. Boundaries are not only for kids, but for flatmates as well. Everyone. But we're discussing a generation that I see, my own opinion, I see as an older adult person, I see an immature group of children who keep pooping in their diapers and nobody's helping them to learn how to change it. So as they grow into becoming adults, they still wear poo-poo diapers and nobody's showing them how to change their diapers. So they're just used to walking around throwing shit everywhere and no one's stopping them and no one's teaching them. Actually, children, it's inappropriate to throw your shit everywhere. That is not the way humanity works. You change your own diapers, you clean your own shit up, and you listen. That's called what? Discipline. I agree with Jennifer too. Andrea says, I'm not a parent, but I do work with kids. You discipline kids. You sit them down. You talk to them. You scold them. Time out. And that's what happens. It's real. Do you do that with your animals? Would you let your dog shit in the house? Would you let your dog just go over here and take a crap and everything is cool? I'm sorry, Rochelle, or if that's triggering you, I apologize, but poop is my favorite analogy. Jennifer says, although it depends on their age. Of course, you can't spank an 18-year-old, but you can put the 18-year-old in the corner. I got spanked at 18. Tori says, tell the child to stop. Discipline them if they are not listening. Then have them help clean the mess they created. Kids, you get it. Jennifer, now I love changing the Wi-Fi and Netflix password for my 18-year-old. You gotta do those things. Francisco, the poo-poo analogy is killing me. It's accurate. Thank you. It is so accurate. I have never seen more bunch of immature little children in my life. It is not okay. I'm telling you, I have a lot of youngsters coming to me, mostly on Instagram. Good morning, Fernando. I see a lot of young kids telling me, thank you, Buck, for speaking out. My generation is so immature. I look up to you. I don't need you to look up to me. I don't want that. What I want is you to hear me. Take what you want from me and don't take the rest, or take nothing from me. That's all I ask from a generation of young kids who are confused, scared. I get it. Fearful. I was all of those things 22 years ago. Fearful. All of it is difficult when you transition. But listen, just sit down, calm down, and listen to me. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you my experience. I'm an old fucking fart for a reason, because I lasted. I have nothing but love in my heart for everybody. But one thing I will not stand for is disrespect, immaturity, anger, bullying, calling out. I won't stand for that. So if that's the type of person you are, you must get out of my face. But if you're the type of person who has an open heart and wanting to listen, and we're all going to have conversation, I love you. You're part of this whole thing. I will not stand for immaturity, and I will not stand for bullying. And that's just the way that I discipline you back. Linda says the younger 20-some generation does not care about anything. But why? They do not understand the lives who were killed so they can walk down. They don't care. It's not even that they don't understand. They do not care. They do not care. Freebird says I would throw water at them. Listen, Listen to me. I gotta go. It's 9:20. How do we talk for so long? Am I a blabbing? I'm a blabber. I apologize, kids. It's getting late. We gotta go. So Cole says I got smacked across the back of my head by my dad. Kids these days, me too. And some people would say that's abusive. No way. My dad spanked the fuck out of me. My dad spanked me with Hot Wheel tracks. Now some people might think that's abusive and fucked up, but you know what? When I was a kid, I thought it was. Now as an adult, I'm like, that's why I'm fucking strong. Discipline. I got disciplined up the ass. Okay, so there. I believe in discipline at some level. I'm not saying we need to physically hit these kids. I'm saying we need to start to understand what discipline is. And they need to sit down and they need to listen to what's happening and not be so judgmental and not be so that they are only right and nobody else is. They need to learn the word hypocrisy. And the word of the day is hypocrisy. We need to teach the younger generation there is a thing called respect and that you cannot only have it your way. The world does not work that way. Rachel says, my mom never needed to spank me. She had the look. And yes, and then there's the look. Like if you don't sit, here's the trampa look when you piss me off. Here it is. I'm going to show it to you right now. That's the look. I don't even have to discipline you. That's the look. Okay, kids. I'm going to let YouTube go, and then I'm going to come back. I love you, YouTube. I love all you kids so much. You're great. Thank you for having dialogue with me. Thank you for having an open mind. Thank you for understanding that dialogue changes everything. Go to the weekend and have an awesome weekend, but remember, there's always somebody who needs your help. It's a real thing. So give a little bit. It'll make you feel good.